All right, hi everyone. How's it going? It's good to be back finally. It feels like it's been forever. And that's because, shit happens.
Yeah,
As
everyone,
as with
everyone getting sick.
everyone
Me,
Hi.
being sick. Yeah,
I wasn't expecting you to talk at the moment, and it startled the fuck out of me.
good. Be afraid. Be very afraid. No, no, it's fine. Hi, how's it going, everyone? It's been so long.
It's going good.
It's going good. Good to hear. Um, we are here. We are playing. Shay is currently sick, but we are going to do our best because she wants to power through it like the trooper she is. How you doing, hun?
I'm doing. I'm good.
Okay.
Definitely better than yesterday. So
Woo.
Whip.
Woo.
Woo.
Woo. Woo. All right. Well, I don't have any news or announcements. Just that hey, we're back, and that's awesome. So let's get moving, cause yeah, we're already in it. So let's go.
okay. So hello everyone. I am Shay or Shay the Fae here on Twitch and Party White Games. I am the dungeon mistress, the dreamweaver, storyteller, what have you. And the three I have with me here are my wonderful players. I will be running this game of Change Stars, a homebrew version, in which the exploration team has discovered a planet not dissimilar to Earth itself, but sporting a interesting life as we know it, that has some level of sapience to them, albeit primitive. That being said, players, I would like you to introduce yourselves. Tell us, tell me who you are, who you're playing, and something you remember from what was happening last time.
Hi, I'm John, also known as Captain Carrion. I'll be playing Dog, the party jarhead. And I remember one of the things that happened last time is we found out that the antagonist to the local group we've been working on have fallen in with the Spazies.
And I guess I will be next. Hi, everybody. I am Dougler. I am playing Buyer the Pilot. And something I remember is that last trip from our first outpost was returning to the capital. Our shuttle got damaged, and it's not quite operable in the storm.
Hi, I'm Brindis. I will be playing the team's scientist, Brindis LaRusio. She is a human and very French, and she hates Spazies. I don't remember jack shit because it's been so fucking long. I remember we had helped install our good friend into the Royal Guard, so that's something at least. I can show that I was here participating. Woo.
It's been so long that Roll20 has changed.
I know, right?
Let's see. That would be.
Those for last two sessions.
Sirius.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the less fighty, more inquisitive type of this relatively martial-like species.
One buyer I thought you guys called Bread.
Bread?
Oh, I believe it was Brindis who said she's like the Michelangelo of the Miq'to. Or that
Da
dog.
Vinci.
Da Vinci, yeah. And buyer thought Da Vinci was bread. Like, oh, it's a human bread. Why is she like a human bread?
So yeah, Yes, you did. You did indeed manage to use your influence to get her in good with royalty of the locals that you were courting. As you learn more about them, you also came into contact with a group that they were at war with. Um, that had been going on for some time, since you kind of came around in the middle of it. Um, they seemingly have had an encounter with others like you? Question mark. And have the have there has been some hints as to some back and forth between this nation and the other one that they are currently fighting. Um, there was no open conflict during this meeting, but you also, I do remember one of you asking, "Is the village that you first encountered in the prospective warpath?" And the answer was yes. Yes, it was. Um, and I don't quite remember, where were you all when we last left off?
We managed to return to the capital, and
Right.
Meyer sent off a message to their home ship saying, "Hey, can we send someone to keep an eye on there because it's not going to be good?"
And ideally get, I think it was also see about evacuating non-combatants.
Okay. I will say that that village was relatively close, and um, while there is a storm going on and places are flooded, these are semi-aquatic mammalian beings. And while the storm is still dangerous for them, it's been obvious that they were trying to use it as cover to move in closer. Did your, and I don't quite remember, did that signal actually go through?
It did, but it was also intercepted by the sponsors. That was the twist I got, because the last roll was for that.
Yeah. Okay. So I feel like the scene's going to open with lightning kind of arcing through the sky, and a large gales of wind kind of buffeting the waves, and a lot of the that kind of fabric, silken part of the infrastructure that had been used throughout the city had been taken down, and it looks like while the walls are being of the city are being battered, there's a level of security, and there are a few of these Miq'tos moving about around the walls that seem to be actively working to keep a lot of the infrastructure clear. And while some of it does appear that it's designed to handle flooding quite a bit, it seems a few of them are working to keep levels low enough during intense storms like these. You had sent your signal out, and as the camera kind of pans over through the city and zooms through it, it falls on the craft you have, and there is a reply that comes back a bit distorted. Um, but it says, Crew Galanawesome, come in.
Well, we're here. It's hard to hear you.
We received everyone from the outpost. The storm's intensified. It would be several hours before we could send someone.
Armies take time to march.
Yeah, this storm's worse than most planets. I just push one down. I appreciate it. Hopefully, it's sooner than later. Don't know how far that army is from the first village.
Well, we should do something to try and get there. We owe it to them to help, like we said we would.
Don't think the shuttle's gonna be able to fly in this anymore. That getting here was as much as I could do.
Actually, a
You
little
could risk it.
disappointed. I thought you would be excited for the challenge.
Don't we still have the little hovercraft somewhere on the area? Also, we could risk it. Throw some slapdash repairs on it and see if they hold. Fucking out of character on this one.
Oh, we could definitely give it a shot.
Just remember, nobody will blame you if we all die horribly in a crash.
That's because we'll all be dead.
Exactly. Our ghosts will not blame you.
It's difficult to blame people when you're not there to blame them.
Exactly. See? There's nothing to worry about.
And I attempt repairs. Is Shay?
Yeah. Go ahead and give me
Dog can also help out on
mechanics.
repairs.
Okay. I'd also like to use my electronics analyzer as well to give me +1 to this roll.
Sure. And get a +1 from Dog's help as well.
Okay. Sure. Anything else that gives me a +1? Yes. Could I also use my electrician talent?
Yes.
Okay, so that is a +4 to this roll.
Oh dear.
Well, I'd have to roll first. Why did I have to roll first?
Congratulations.
That's-
It's good to be back. You killed us all. I'm just kidding.
That's 2 successes and 3 twists.
Ugh.
Right.
3
All right. Roll me a d6.
too.
Well, let's see, how do I put this? It'll fly. But as you're working and trying to get it to operate, you find a spot where the damage from the lightning storm had fried a few panels, and while the vessel is still capable of flying, it is going to be one of the engines is shot. You are going to have to compensate while flying, and if you continue to push it, especially in a storm like this, there is a high risk of it not going to be able to be airborne until actual repairs are done, i.e. time taken to resolve it. So the question is, are you confident enough to fly through a storm on a damaged vessel?
Potentially. I'm just reading the edge break again because I think I have enough that I could totally do it. I just want to make sure that nothing
no,
terribly horrible would happen.
You're not human, so you need 2 more edge break first. Edge to edge break first.
You could totally do it, though. We'll
Humans,
survive.
humans are Yep, no, the English
Human
language.
superiority, baby. High five.
I was just gonna go spasmodic. That's the word I was looking for. We're a bunch of spazzes.
Well,
Well,
I'm willing to risk it.
Let's risk it for the biscuit, as they say on.
Alright.
all right. As you are finishing up doing spot repairs, very temporary stuff, you notice that standing out near the entrance, where some of the place the shuttle has set, there's the wind's not quite as strong, owed in part to the walls being able to keep the bulk of it out. There's still likely some heavy gales coming out across it. There are still flags up in place that you're able to see. I would say flags, but they're like the cylinder fabrics, so that wind can go through it.
Windsocks.
Yeah, windsocks. Just kind of showing the direction and speed of the wind where it is. There is a a retinue of some of the queen's soldiers, as well as her kind of staring and observing.
We should probably let her know that we're going to go try to get to her people. Because we did tell her the armor last time.
Yeah, you did inform her about. But she seems to wait until you're finished with whatever you're doing.
Okay. I think I've done as well as I can. You guys want to head over to her then?
We should get going as soon as possible.
Let her know that we're going to go warn her people in that village about the incoming and see if we can assist in evacuating any non-combatants. Because they do not have enough fighting people to stop an army like that. In
So Byra's going to head over to the queen.
Okay. She glances at you as you're the one to approach. Tilts her head a little bit and says, "Is your vessel damaged?"
Yeah, the storm kind of shook us hard.
Well, they often do. Few beasts will take to the sky during winds like these.
Honestly, if it wasn't for that army coming this way, I wouldn't take to the sky either. We're gonna try to get to... Jay, what's the name of the first village? Because I'm sure Byra knows, but I don't think Nuclear does.
Let's see. Sure, I had it in my notes somewhere, but I don't quite remember because all I see is just this one village. I can look for it later. And keep us moving for now.
And we're gonna try to get to first village and warn them.
If you get there in time, then I would appreciate it. The troops I sent being informed of this. I cannot risk sending more of my army in that direction.
Of course, we'll.
If the Shivoks make their way past it, I'll have my army prepared for them. I am curious though, do you plan on entering our conflict?
We might not have a choice, considering that others from the sky with less noble intentions are already interfering.
Unfortunately, it seems that somebody else has already made this a proxy war.
And you do not know who?
We have an idea, but we don't know for certain.
And we know that if your opponents win, your planet will almost certainly fall to the Empire. So,
If there is a greater enemy, then... She pauses for a minute and seems to think on this. And they will likely benefit from an ongoing conflict between us and the Shivok. And the only way they do not benefit is if the Shivok or the Tamya come out victorious.
if the Shivak are backed by the Imperial Remnant, then whether an ongoing conflict or their victory, the Imperial Remnant will have a much easier time conquering. In essence, the only acceptable outcome is for you to win. I have an idea based on what we heard that this conflict can be ended in very short order if I can get my hands on an anti-material rifle.
How so?
They're held together solely by the strength of a single leader, and their leadership structure is entirely dependent on her as our most most mass-conquering states.
You intend to decapitate the army.
If I can get my hands on the right weapon, I can do it from 2 kilometers away.
There's a moment where she seems to consider this idea, and after a moment says, "My people follow me because I have provided strength and wisdom. I am getting older. If I am showing less strength, less ability to lead my people, we will not be as unified as we used to."
Do you cut out, Shay?
Did you hear all that?
No, I don't think so. We got unified as we used to, and then cut out.
Well, that's all I said.
Oh, okay.
This must be a war that my people win.
So you guys need to be the front of it then.
We would need to be the ones to strike that blow.
Byron's going with the dog because he's the warrior. This all seems out of her field of expertise.
Yeah.
To my understanding, none of you are currently any of the guardians to my sons. So, what will you do if they've already reached the village?
If they've already reached the village, we'll try to
do
get
what
it.
we can.
We'll do what we can to evacuate as many non-combatants as we can.
Very well. Is there anything you require that I can provide?
For this one, given that we'll probably need as much space aboard the shuttle as we can get, I don't think so. Make sure that on our way back there's a section of cleared land. There's a section of cleared land in case we have to do a crash landing.
We will clear a spot, and she'll give you an idea. She'll point to an area where she'll have a place cleared out, and she says, I will make sure that Cyrlios, as the one to have been observing your craft the most, will be able to oversee this.
Appreciate it. Well, we should go before it's too late.
Yeah.
Byron's gonna search back towards the shuttle.
You are brave to weather this storm. The only creature I can think of that would dare fly through these winds are the Fanged Tongue.
Hang tons.
Best of luck. And she turns to other matters.
Brave, crazy. I think that we begin to blur that line. Alright.
Well, do what we can. Byron's gonna go in the piloting seat, just kind of shake their hands out a little bit, like, okay, it's good, it's good. And so I don't have anything that gives me a bonus to this roll. So I'm guessing it's gonna be an operate to try to get there and not fall
Yes.
apart.
Give me an operate at a -2. Would you like to push?
wait, that's a success, not a bad. Okay. Dukler just got muted.
I did not mean to mute.
Okay. Would you like to push?
Yeah, I should probably push that.
Probably push that.
Right. Now I'm just getting scared.
Well, we get a scene of your vessel taking off, and there's an internal shot of the sound of the interior kind of like rattling and shaking as you fly up into the wind, and there is a moment where it's very difficult to see, but physics as they are, you are able to fly up and past the cloud cover where the air is thinner and it is easier for the vessel to move. In addition to not being torn apart by the winds, after a short period of time of flying over this cloud cover, you have to start descending again. And going through the clouds, there's a loud or there's a bright flash of lightning that arcs through the sky as you're passing through. The vessel manages to hold together, and as you're descending out past the clouds, there's off in the distance there's the brief signs of a water spout before it dissipates, and as you come down closer to where this village is, you see the various flickers of bioluminescent creatures here and there out in the plains, and as the village starts to come into visual view, there's a couple things you see. The bulk of the army that is moving through has not quite overtaken the area yet. However, when you get closer, it becomes very apparent that a smaller force has broken off to make its way to this village. Dog, you can probably guess that this force is moving to secure this location prior to the main forces arriving here, since they are pushing their way through this storm. You also notice that the river is, of course, flooded, and the structures being designed to hold them. Some are completely surrounded by water, but they all none of them are really submerged with the way that they're designed. You will, unfortunately, have to land in a clearing that is a little bit further away instead of directly in the village.
Yeah, that's what TV. Oh, I have a question.
I may have an answer.
So we first went from the village to the capital. We left some of our security team at the village. Are they still there, or did they leave at some point?
They would have left because some of them joined you on the Sanshi hunt. And they had the outpost that you were at wasn't terribly far. It was like less than a day's travel away from the village. So they would have been at the outpost. So when that got evacuated, they left with the refugees from there. And you got word that they were not able to get back down until after a few hours.
Okay. I was hoping for backup.
Sorry, no.
No, it's completely fair.
But there is a shot. I feel like the camera's going to shift again. Prior to your vessel arriving, there's a shot of a number of Miq'to warriors kind of moving quietly, a smaller group that has broken off as they approach this village. And it's one that some scouts have come across before, since you had dealt with them earlier on when you first arrived, way back when. But a number of them kind of duck low, and they're not giving off any light. They seem to be of the intent to get as close as they can before they're noticed. A lot of them go underwater into this flooded river, and there's an underwater shot of them kind of swimming beneath the water, where they start to come up on some of the buildings and try to scale them. And quietly at first, there are a few that they're able to, a few of the soldiers that were posted up to guard here are quietly taken out before another gets caught and is able to raise an alarm, and begins to bang on some drums meant to alert the area. At that moment, a number of them begin coming to arms. A lot of this fighting happens on the roofs of these buildings. There is some where they are sifting through the water, but it looks like this combat has just begun for them as your vessel comes to land. So give me just a moment. Can you all see?
I can, in fact,
Yes,
now
yes, I can
see.
Yes.
Wonderful. As you land, one of them seems to notice your vessel, as probably a number of them have, but one leaps off of the roof of one of these buildings into the water and swims up to the shore, climbing out of it, and wading over to you. But she looks over, recognizing you. She is one of the warriors posted here. Rindis, you recognize the building where you saw that there were a number of where they had hidden away some of their mails before, and you can hear the movement. You can see some other soldiers moving in and out from inside as if they're just preparing to defend the place. But she approaches and says, "This village has just been under attack."
We are here to evacuate and get all of you out of here.
All combatants first. You're expecting an army on your doorstep. Get the ones who are get the oldest and the youngest and the ones least able to move under their own power to the shuttle, and we'll be able to move them. Others should begin to evacuate as however could be done effectively by your people.
She glances back and then points to this building here, and she says, "If you can gather our men and their guardians, get them out first, or secure them first. Miyoshi is leading a defense on the other side, that way." And she points off in that direction, and says, "Our elders and those who are not able to fight are in the larger building that you originally stayed in."
Those first, then elders. Okay, we'll do that.
And she gives a nod, runs over, and gives some quick commands before moving through the water, and starts to climb into this building again as if to start delivering these messages. You see the three warriors here go inside a moment, and there we go. A moment later, they come out as if they're prepared to guard and defend. What are you all doing?
Directing them towards the ship. That's all I can do.
So they start heading in that direction then.
Dog is going to
Towards
be
the ship.
assuming a screening position, heading toward the, because we've already got a lot of the mails onto the shuttle. We may need to buy time for other groups of civilians, and Dog is uniquely equipped to buy time, particularly given that he has a bang stick.
That's true.
This is my boom stick. If he ever gets a shotgun, there's going to be so many terrible, terrible jokes.
I guess all I can do is just get the shuttle ready to take off as soon as we're full.
Okay, so Rendis is just directing people to the shuttle. Bayer, you're keeping the shuttle hot.
And Dog said he was keeping watch and ready to.
Yeah, he's assuming a screening position to make sure that as we evacuate civilians from buildings. If anyone tries to cause problems with that, they are going to find out that he is allowed to defend humanitarian corridors.
Mhm.
All right. Are you moving into the village any deeper at all, or are you just maintaining this spot?
He would be moving deeper to get a better covering position, although he would be having to maintain he does not naturally swim, although he is in something that is sealed and is dense enough he can just walk along the bottom. But the problem is that a lot of this is fairly fast moving water. So yeah.
All right. I would like a roll from each of you.
Okay.
What are we rolling?
Rindis, from you, I would like a communicate. Buyer, from you, I would like a I'm gonna say mechanics. And from dog, I would like a scrutiny.
Scroot.
Root.
5 successes, and I rolled a 1.
Maybe roll that 1d6 too.
Can I use my electronics analyzer for my mechanics bonus?
Sorry, one more time.
So can I use my electronic analyzer for the mechanics?
No.
Nope.
Not for this one.
Okay. Oh, 4.
Okay. Rindis, you are working to get in, guiding them into the shuttle. The first ones you're able to get in are the males and their guardians as they back up and start to defend the ship. They don't quite, the actual warriors don't quite secure themselves yet. They seem to be guarding the entrance of the shuttle like a guardian does. So they are well aware that you are not leaving yet, but are moving to a more defensible position. You are able to get everyone in the vicinity, even the people who don't quite want to leave. The frantic motions, however, you do see one of them coming out of this building, carrying a very strange looking thing, animal, plant, critter. But it looks kind of like a hardened ball, but it has like these little holes in it with little like flowery like frills or feathers, little feather like extensions around it. But she carries that. Dog, I want you to roll one more d6.
Right.
Okay, that's all. Buyer, as you're looking back and looking through everything on the shuttle itself, You get the sense that you're not going to be able to evacuate the entire village. You could get a fair number of them because this is a shuttle. But one shuttle for an entire village isn't going to get every single individual.
With Rindis close enough, she would look to Vire and be like, "Is it possible to extract them far enough away that they will be out of immediate danger and we can return for those that are waiting to be extracted? Or is this a we need to get them all the way back to the capital kind of situation?"
Shay?
For that, you will need to know of a location that is safe from the weather.
The army's already moved past our little research post. We can stick people in there.
Mm-hmm. They'll never see it coming, landing behind their lines.
Were they all the way past, or were they just getting past them? How
It's
big
been
is this
a
army?
couple of hours while they were under a full march, so...
True.
You would likely have to try avoid detection from any rear scouts, but it's possible.
Close the doors, lock the windows, laugh as they batter against its armored hull.
We did leave the automated sentries too, didn't we?
Yeah, all the ones that don't have free will are still sitting there making sure that things do not poke it. So everything that is not self-aware gets to sit there and so it's only like 4 little scuttlebots, but you know.
It's enough. I'm sure.
Yeah, it's just something.
Yeah, when you consider the machine guns attached to those things, yeah.
Yeah, we could definitely try that.
It would at least be a decent staging ground, because you'd have to be insane to try to push through that. And Dog is insane, and he still wouldn't want to pick a fight with one of those.
Well,
And he got in a fist fight with a genetically engineered space hick. So
That's true.
Speaking of fights, Dog, as you glance around, visibility is a little bit limited. But the fact that they have bioluminescence, you do see a number of flashes across on the other side of the river. But you also hear and see some of those flickers coming in this direction as well, with the sound of very distinctive battle. You are able to pick up that there is some part of the force that has gotten in a little bit closer.
okay, let's come around the next building. Roll 20, please. Please let me put my sheet down. It's not letting me put my sheet down.
So just following the mouse around.
I'm just following the mouse. Okay, hold on. Okay, I got it. I got the sheet closed. Man. Aha! Alright. So let's see. So it's coming from around. Alright, so Dog needs to get. I roll 20 isn't behaving. He's gonna try to get around to get a sight line on that.
Okay. So there is I say dry, a not flooded path a little bit up this way that you can kind of skirt
Yeah.
around and peer through the building.
That's the kind of direction he'd be going.
Okay. A quick
Okay.
glance. You can see the building the shadow of the building you originally stayed in, and as you're moving, there's a number of these non-combatant tent Miq'tions that are making their way towards the shuttle as well. Blip. Blip. Fire, you're on the ship.
Yep.
I'm just gonna say that everyone in this corner is on the vessel. But as you're moving, dog, you see the warriors kind of moving to the ones guarding the village, moving to building to inform these people. But you see one of them as they get a little closer, kind of like peer upward, and you see her sails kind of flicker, and a little bit of a warning to the other two. There are a number of them that are really close, and you can tell because further around there is a larger scale conflict. From the position you're at, you can hear it down this way.
Okay. Unfortunately, even if Dog can walk across the bottom, his gun is not equipped to work underwater. It's just water and high velocity and supersonic projectiles do not get along. So he's just gonna keep keep. My speech impediment is acting up. Sorry.
No worries.
He is going to keep trying to get a line of fire on what the guards have seen following their island, because they were looking up at up a building, right?
They were looking across from it. They were clinging to the sides of the buildings.
All right. So, does he have line of sight on whatever they were looking at and signaling about?
Give me another scrutiny.
Okay.
Would you like to push?
I absolutely would. Okay, and I'll roll that 1d6.
Okay. So you do get some idea of what's going on. It's going to take you a moment to actually get a sight on it, but from one of the sides of the building, if you were able to climb up it and get a better look, you would see some other non-combatants fleeing, a couple more with a male in tow. And at this point, the shuttle's starting to get full. But peering down, there is one of the hills, and I'm just going to move you over so you got a clearer view. You're not really here, but
But that way I can see.
yes. On one of the part of the land that hasn't quite been completely submerged yet, there are a few fallen soldiers that lay dead, and you can see, and I just marked them red and blue so it was easier to get by or easier to understand. because I don't have as many token variation as I'd like right now. But two distinct variations of insignia, heraldry, whatever it is.
Both work.
Yeah.
Identifying features.
There's you recognize some of them. One you do see her armor is adorned a bit more notably, likely a leader, and you see that she is wielding a blade that is very obviously not forged on this world. You also would recognize that there is another that is currently fighting, and these two groups have kind of split off. And one you would notice as Miyoshi, the Miq'to you had fought alongside before, who had taken you to mate with, copulate with, to fuck.
Yep.
Is
That
she
did
winning?
There's some groups that have broken off. There is, I feel like the camera's going to cut event again over to this fight. The blade that the one with the adorned armor is in easily carves through one of the shields of another Miq'to, and with a almost excited with the thrill of fighting, she is able to stab one and turn the body aside. Miyoshi in her fight parries against another soldier before she's able to whip her spear around and stab it into the upper clavicle of her opponent. And when the two of them turn to face off against one another, you notice that the adorned one holds up her own shield and starts banging it very loudly as her sails light up a series of flashes in a bright red, and this garners a lot of attention. A lot of the fights that are going on slow to a pace, and they observe, and she continues to bang the shield as she's staring at Miyoshi.
Dog
And
wants to do something.
yeah,
Timing with a thundercrack. He's going to be lining up a shot as this is going on. He's not supposed to do this. He's at the point where he's kind of seen what these invaders are about, though. He's starting to not care. So he's lining up a shot, and he's going to time with a thundercrack and just go for a good old fashioned headshot on the one that has the off-world blade.
Listen, I didn't see a thing.
You probably literally didn't do.
No one's gonna rat you out. We didn't see nothing.
Congratulations, you have just been divinely smited. Is what we're going for here.
yeah, we'll see what that
Judged.
means. We'll definitely see what that means politically.
They'll have to prove it first.
They do. They will. That's the challenge. That's why he's timing. That's why he's lining it up with a thunderclap. Also, politically, it's going to be a fucking mess. But he's a soldier, not a politician, and he's running. He's the reason for politicians.
Yeah. So, before this goes on, there's a minute where Miyoshi kind of squares up a little bit, and she flips her spear over and stabs it into the ground, and there's a loud cheer that goes up, and these groups start to circle the two of them. The adorned one stabs the sword she was using into the ground as well. And the two of them remove their shields. And then
Oh.
they.
In that case, dog can't fire. This has gone too honorable, and also no any off-world interference has just been removed. Damn it.
I mean, did it though?
You could
I do kind of like this though. Dog, you're kind of like lining the shot up. You have the chance. You're ready to do it. And the moment you're about to pull the trigger, you see this and then you hold back.
No,
Yeah.
no, let them cook.
Oh no, he's gonna do something else. He's gonna line up a shot on the off-world sword now. He's going to associate for the other. He's going to try to associate for the other side those weapons with dishonor. So when that thunder flash happens, he's going to shoot the off-world sword that's been stuck in the ground.
Okay.
It's a crazy idea, but let's see if it works.
Okay.
Yeah, this is how cults get started. You know that, right?
So, the warriors have kind of encircled these two, and you see a number of them. Whatever weapons they're holding, they are, whether they're spears or blades or anything that's pointy. They kind of keep them to the side, so that they don't flee the area, and. As the two of them circle one another, you see there is a very clear notion of the two of them entering into this duel. When the fight begins, it seems relatively even at first. Are you just observing for now?
Oh no, he's gonna shoot that sword about at any opportune moment within the fight.
Okay. You see that their weapons.
He's just making sure to do it when there is a thunder crack, so his shot isn't tracked.
Okay. I'm going to need a twist for that.
Yeah, I'm
To
figuring that
succeed.
it's gonna be some pretty difficult stuff, but he's been aiming down for that for a while.
Okay.
So he's gonna roll his giant pile of, backing.
Gotcha. All right. I'm going to. Oh, yeah, there it is.
Oh,
Yep. That's.
hey, John, for the folks at home, do you want to
Dog
tell them how
starts-
many you got?
Yeah. Dog
What?
starts cackling on top of a roof.
This is a little bit admittedly
Alright.
less like somebody strangling a goose, but
All right. So what? So for your twist, you're going to spend a few of those dice to.
Just- whole thing, just that sword that's in, that off-world sword that's in the ground, he just wants to do his absolute level best to make that thing explode while the thunder's rolling. Not
Okay.
necessarily damaging anyone, but definitely breaking it, and probably
Alright.
freaking people out.
So twist to break it, and a twist to avoid hurting anyone with the exploding shrapnel.
probably. And admittedly, it's so it's all right. Let's see. That's yeah, because some of the people who are within range of that shrapnel would be friendly, but um. But yeah, so the twist to break it, and the twist to not that to not hurt it, to not hurt other people, and probably a twist to go unnoticed as he's doing it because lightning.
Okay, so that's going to be 3, 2, and 1.
Oh,
You have enough. You have enough successes. You have just enough successes for this. For your 1, please roll me a d6. Okay. So the scene plays out like this. The two of them are fighting one another, and at first it looks fairly even, but after a few moments, you would see that whom you can probably easily surmise based on that blade is Sunchi, the warlord.
yeah.
And she's very aggressive and very energetic, and almost to the point of zealotry is not quite the right word, but
Fanaticism.
yes, she's very driven, and Miyoshi begins to fall back a little bit on the defensive, just trying to hold her own, as the two of them are clawing at one another and wrestling and fighting. And it's not long before she is grabbed, and there is a swift strike to her joints, and you can hear the crack as one of her arms are broken. And when she's thrown back to the ground, the camera kind of falls on them, and this warlord removes her helmet and says, as she's just kind of staring down, says, "You are too worthy to be a thrall, so I'll give you a good death." And she starts to reach for her before you fire this shot, and the blade shatters. The gunshot echoes with the sound of the thunder. And when she reaches back to see what has happened, and they all kind of see that the blade is shattered, there's just a pause and just the sound of the rain as they're trying to figure out what just happened. Alright, let me check what your piloting was. Or your operation. Okay.
It was a 3.
It was what?
3.
Yeah, I thought so. So, there's a moment where everything's quiet. Miyoshi's just kind of like clutching her broken arm. And while they're all kind of staring at this broken weapon, and they all begin to look around and try to see what caused it, it looks like the fighting has stopped temporarily. Then the warlord starts like staring up at the sky, as if recalling something, and they're all just looking and searching. You remain hidden. After a moment, she looks down at her defeated opponent and then just like steps back and puts her helmet back on, grabs the broken blade, and you see a flicker of her lights as she gives a command for them to start moving again. Go ahead and give me a insight.
Yep. Let's see if Dog ever rolls anything for this. Okay, it's a success, and now I need to roll a d6.
Okay. Okay. There is a...
People are calling me. Sorry. I
No
forgot to
worries.
mute.
All good?
Sorry about that.
No worries. Observing her kind of through the crosshairs of your weapon, and her sudden command for her people to fall back, you recall that she's claimed to have an encounter with off-worlders before, and something about this does not sit right with her. So rather than do anything about it right now, she seems to want to have her people fall back and just continue whatever else they were doing. So she's playing it cautious right now because she doesn't know where that shot came from and could not find it. You get the sense that if she did have an initial thought, she might have done something, but right now there's something in the dark that destroyed her weapon.
There's something in the dark that can destroy the strongest substance you've ever encountered without you knowing where it came from.
You see her people start gathering the bodies of their dead. The others kind of close in around Miyoshi, and just as you're starting to relax, the roof has grown quite slippery, and your twist with a 1, you slide over and fall into the water.
Well, that's fine. Dog is going to sit at the bottom of the water for a little while so that they don't know exactly where he came from.
Yep.
He's in a sealed suit. He has several hours of oxygen.
Yep. One of the other warriors that was underwater that had seen you before grabs you and seems to struggle with the weight of your suit, but starts to try and drag you along the bottom.
Walking towards shore. There's probably a fair amount of tungsten in this, whatever it is. So
yeah, it's too heavy.
This is not the kind of thing that is generally going to be easy to lift. It's powered. I've realizing reading through the ballistic assault plate again. But yeah, no, this is just dead. Just walking towards shore.
Buyer, you've managed to get a number of the citizens here onto the vessel itself. It is pretty much at capacity. Rendis, you see this as well.
Is this going to be? It's not going to be too heavy to get us out of here, right? We aren't over capacity at all.
Now you could try packing in the rest of
We are
the
flying into a
non-combatants.
storm. No, we will not. We're desperate. We're not stupid. Mostly. Is Dougler here?
Dougler, you're muted.
I had a snack, so I muted so I could chomp on it.
Oh no.
I forgot to unmute. They're like, yeah, we're kind of pushing the limits, but I should be able to get us going.
All right. Let's do final checks and get us out of here before anything else gets in the way.
Yeah, Dog, are you staying here to keep backup?
Yeah, I'll stay here to keep the remaining non-combatants safe. You get them to one of our secured site. You get them to a secured. You get the secured sites. Come back. Get the rest.
There's a pentapus on Dog's armor helmet.
Full face hugger.
Yeah.
just. You know, if it's not on anywhere that's actually obscuring his vision or motion, he might not even realize it's there. Because this is hard armor. He can't feel anything through it.
Yeah, it's just sitting there on the head, back of the head.
And this is a moment that shall go down in history because it is ridiculous and just followed by it. Dog is just glad the natives have not developed cameras yet. On the other hand, Rindis has, so a picture of this is going to wind up on the ship's network.
There's also like sensors and shit on the shuttle too, so that's
We know.
We know, aren't it? The symbol associated with power armor in the distant future of this culture, the pentapus. What? Sorry to just ruin any gravitas this moment had.
okay. Fire's gonna take off now.
Okay.
Yeah, no one is telling Dog.
Is Dog staying here?
Yeah, he's gonna stay behind here because, one, that means you can fit at least one more person, probably two, given that he is larger than average, onto that shuttle. And B, that also means that he can make sure that the remaining non-combatants are relatively safe.
Okay.
CCU will stay here as well.
Can clear up a little more room, yeah. All right. Give me an operation.
Operation. Go. 3 and a twist.
3 and a twist. All right. So your passengers do not enjoy this ride. It is terrifying. So much so that one of the Rendis, a couple of them that are standing close to you are kind of like digging their nails into you, just trying to cling for support. You've been through this. This is unsettling. They're going through the sky and flying through a storm.
Yes.
You don't do that.
Pat. There. We won't die. Not today.
And you don't. But again, Again, there's some shuddering in this vessel. Buyer, you're not sure how much more strain it'll be able to take on being one engine down. But you are able to get them back to this outpost. But as the vessel's kind of like taking off again, we see this kind of like light streaking through this very rain obscured place. And as the camera kind of like pans backwards a bit, we see this warlord again. And she's standing with a few of her soldiers, and as she watches this light streak by, she turns and starts to walk the other way, kind of like holding up the shattered end of the blade, and kind of like turns it over before saying, I think these star children weren't lying when they said that they intended to fight with us. Keep an eye on this village. If they don't take everyone, which I'm sure they'll take the most valuable out of there, maybe we can get some information about them. We'll keep to our original plan. We're almost upon the capital. This war will be over one way or another soon. And then we can deal with the Star People as one nation. And some of the people with her give a nod and say, of course, Warlord. And we'll cut again to this vessel kind of like flying and landing on this pad again. There's another scene of as the vessel is streaking through the sky and comes to land. There's a scene of a Miq'to scout kind of like watching this light kind of descend before. Excuse me, sorry. Before she falls back and starts to travel elsewhere. But you're able to get everyone to this outpost behind the bulk of the army. One of the Brindis, as you're sitting back there, a few of the Miq'tos are like shaking and crying and being like, "That was insane! Why did we do that?"
But you're alive.
You're alive. That's what's important. You could have stayed behind where that army was trying to kill you or enslave you. Yes, I know. We are heroes. You're welcome.
Was it really? Is that vessel really that safe flying through a storm like that?
Yes, we survived, didn't we?
But what if the wind tore it up?
Well, we could wonder what ifs for any sort of situation. What matters is the end results. Yes.
One of the other Miq'tos, with them kind of pipes up and is like, "She is right. They got us out of a situation we were not able to travel in this weather normally in." Another one is basically clings to the ground, is like, "I never want to do that again. I never want to do that again. I never want to do that again."
That is a sensible response. That is a very sensible response. Dog doesn't want to do it again either. He's just going to. It's also not as bad as some of the combat drops, which were probably in storms just as bad while being shot at. He's done crazy shit.
Buyers has to go back and grab dog and the rest.
Oh yeah. So,
This is much as I wanted to grab everyone. I cannot push this overweight.
Yeah, we're functioning on on one engine and still making it work. God, Bayer is able to do some impressive stuff with that thing.
Yeah. So these are going to be incredibly impressed or incredibly pissed off that Buyers managed to do all that.
The answer is both. The answer is both. Can we take a bit of a bio break here?
It's a good point to stop for a break.
Yep.
Alrighty, break time, everyone. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned.
hello.
Hello.
We're joking about dog becoming a cryptid.
Hell yeah. The boogeyman of Miq'to.
What is all right? Just dog going around, still got the pentapus in in a ghillie suit. So it's the pentapus controls the trees. It has a thunder stick. Anything pointy around it explodes.
It's just like this adorable little critter, just like clinging to the, to the, to the helmet, but you just see the top of it just kind of like wading through the water before it starts to like come out, and it's on top of you as you're walking out.
The thing is, dog has no idea it's even there.
He doesn't. He does not know. And I honestly think at this point that eventually either somebody's going to point it out to him, or he's going to end up somewhere where he actually takes the armor off, and it's like, how?
Yeah.
Or it's eventually it may decide to leave on its own. But
I mean, as soon as you go through any place that has decontamination, it's gonna be like contamination detected, initiating cleansing protocols.
It's dog at the airlock.
if he ever finds out
Keeps
that it's
making fish.
there, I have a sneaking suspicion that he's gonna wind up with a pet. It's like, what's this?
Going to keep this now. It's
What's
mine.
this? It's my hat. It's like the cat that I taught to sit on my shoulder, except it's not. Except it's a pentapus.
Except it's a pentapus.
Yeah, Phoebe will just like if I pick Phoebe up, my shoulders are broad enough. She'll just like stretch out and like kind of brace herself around the back of my neck and just make herself comfortable while I walk around my friend's apartment.
I love that.
Yeah. It has gotten more difficult as Phoebe has gotten fatter, but she still can do it. Just means she assumes a different position. Although if I do bend forward, she will then go and stand on the back of my head. And she will just sit down where she's sitting on my neck, her paws are on the back of my head, and I'm just like, I can't look up until you move, cat.
Cat.
Phoebe, I need to see what the time is. Phoebe is adorable.
As all Phoebes are, as friends taught us.
Yeah.
Any hoodle.
Sweet cat. Anyway.
Take it away, hon.
Alright. So, I feel like the scene kind of draws back in, and we see... I imagine you take the Miq'tions to the bunks instead of the labs, or do you take them to the labs instead of the bunks?
Probably the bunks, because they're scared civilians.
Yep. Alright, so you walk by, past the labs, head towards the building with all the bunks in it. As you do, now I need to remember if it's the Fred Gerald H or the H Gerald Fred.
We need, as delightful as our naming conventions are, we might need a better one.
No, never changing it.
It's the Fred H. Gerald. So as you're walking by, the Fred H. Gerald that had grown a little bit larger than normal, slurping up all the nutrients from its little petri dish that it's been sitting in. As you're walking by the window, there's just a number of these like tentacles that are going thunk, thunk, thunk against it as you pass by.
Nothing like putting our new friends at ease with more terrifying creatures that instilled nightmares in their hearts.
But you walk by and then enter the bunks. Everyone kind of finds a spot to sit. It's very different. Some of them do start exploring the area. It's a little crowded. but some of them are kind of observing the material on the bed. Others are just kind of like curled up. I believe there are a total of 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, five males, and the rest are female.
They can settle in comfortably then. They got this.
They kind of herd their males into a little spot, while the rest of them are kind of milling about. Some stay close, very instinctual it seems. But they're kind of moving about, and one of them asks, "How long are we staying here?"
We're gonna wait for the storm to break and we'll get you to the capital.
"What about the others at the village?" another one asked.
We're gonna go back to get them.
"You're leaving us here?"
God. we have sentries here, and your own guardians can protect you while we go and retrieve the others. You want them to be with you, do you not?
"Yes, have some faith in us." One of them kind of like pulls out a knife to check to make sure it's there, and then puts it away again. It's like, "We'll be able to keep them safe."
As I said, we have systems in place that will help with that endeavor as well, but you guys are the last line of defense for them.
It's
All right.
going to be okay.
It's going to be okay.
"What if the army comes this way?"
Well, they've already passed by this way several hours ago. It would take them a long time to return. Which time we would be here with the rest.
"If they come, we'll defend this place."
There, see? Everything will be fine.
You see one of them that has been exploring has gotten into the bathroom, and you hear a shower turn on, and then an exclamation of excitement. "It's raining in here! What are we gonna do?"
Oh my god.
"It's gonna flood!"
Turn the handle back. Turn the handle back so it shuts off, please.
They turn it back.
It is no longer raining. What sorcery is this?
I think they'd understand valves.
They're an aquatic species. They have no need for plumbing. Probably.
Like, I mean,
they did have
A mission made
infrastructure. Yeah, they've had infrastructure in the actual larger city, but yeah, these are the folk that live out on the countryside. They do seem to understand it, the concept once they get it to stop.
Understand the concept that it is a valve? Yes. Understand why we have an indoor rainstorm? No. Why don't you just go out and bathe like anyone else? Are the wheels turning?
So, Meyer, to fly back, I'm gonna need another operate.
Okay.
Just waiting for the inevitability of this to fail.
Oh, I shouldn't say that.
Why would you put that evil in the world?
Which isn't happening yet. You have consistently been able to fly through. This is actually your best trip yet. You managed to make your way back through the storm with little effort. Um, Back at the village, though, what what are you getting up to, dog? A lot of the soldiers are kind of like, some of them do post up in like some of the higher points to kind of watch the army that is watching them. But a lot of them kind of move back towards the larger building on the inside, with some of the soldiers moving back outside to monitor the situation, except for one who is carried inside, wincing in pain. It is Miyoshi. Her arm is broken, and you see a number of them kind of like surround her, and they're trying to give her triage, and trying to put the arm back in place.
A medic dog is not. So there's not a lot he can do there. What he'd do is he'd get to a nice elevated position, preferably inside, a little back from a wind, just a little bit. Essentially, he'd post himself up in a good sentry position with a nice field of fire. That is, is what he'd be doing.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a scrutiny then, I suppose, since you are observing.
Scrutiny. We're gonna push that, because when you fail scrutiny, things go bad. And let's roll that d6.
Okay. So, you're kind of watching the banks of the other side of the river. It looks like a number of the forces that had attacked had fallen back, and they seem to be observing the actual bulk of the army. It has been getting steadily closer. They will eventually be kind of overrunning the area. And there are a few flickers of light being sent back and forth. They're still watching, albeit more cautiously. As this is going on, there is a little blur in your vision. That kind of lights up a bit before a little, kind of looks like a little cuttlefish face. Kind of looks at you upside down through your visor.
Yep. It's just got a... It's a cuddle. Dog's like... reaches up.
It's got big, adorable eyes.
How long has this been here? Is this his first song? What are you, and how did you get there?
Are you pulling it off your helmet?
Yeah, he just reached up and gently, just like pull off, and pulls out in the hand. What are you, and how did you get here?
It doesn't quite let go very willingly. You kind of have to like use your fingers to get its little tendrils around to cling to something. But you manage to get it off. It's got like a kind of a... It looks like it has a very soft body, but you notice that there are like little dots of light, more of that bioluminescent that run along the tendrils in like a series of patterns. But it just seems to be clinging to whatever it can, and you're guessing that probably in the rainstorm it's just been hanging on to stuff in the current, and you just happen to be there.
What is it? I ran into a really solid object. It doesn't move. It's made of nice, sturdy rock. Why is it walking? Why is it walking?
And it seems fairly content in the rain.
Looking at it,
You see that it has five tendrils around the front of its face, and it's while out in the rain, you see that there is a little bit of a not the same kind of sail, but there's like the two little arms that kind of like flex outward to as if it's feeling the current either of the wind or the current of water if it were underwater.
This thing is adorable.
It blinks one eye and then the other.
Mm-hmm.
It can blink too. It's... Can like put it like back on his shoulder or something.
It wraps its little tendrils around anything it can get a hold of.
Okay. Dog has a pentapus now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. New friend.
Now I have to
Okay.
draw this.
Just... What have we got? We've got a pentapus hanging onto a suit of power armor. It's adorable.
You hear the shout, or a shout of pain as an arm is probably being set in place and splinted.
Nothing new.
Otherwise, you catch sight of a vessel approaching as the shuttle comes to land again.
Alrighty. Next wave, go.
Can we fit the rest of the people this time?
I'm gonna say yes for the sake of brevity, so I just don't have you
Yay.
flying back and forth all the time.
Alright, we're going to spend the rest of the session rolling for back and forth trips. Congratulations, you are now playing Desert Bus Space Edition.
Yep. So yes, you're able to get everyone else back into the vessel. So there's just going to be a scene where Rindis, as this time around, they do bring a number of their wounded warriors as well as the rest of their civilians first, and those that can still fight file in last. One of those wounded being Miyoshi, whom you had worked with before. Once given the go-ahead, I will ask for just one last operation to pilot your way there. Rindis, is there anything you would like to do? Dog, is there anything you would like to do?
I'll provide what medical support I can because I'm not that kind of doctor.
Okay.
And Dog has a pentapus on his shoulder.
Oh yeah, you notice that there's a little bioluminescent creature with a little cuttlefish face
Aw, you
on
made a
his shoulder.
friend. How nice.
It blinks one eye, and then the other.
Just kind of like, yep.
I'm not gonna lie, the thing looks like a stubby squid in my mind. A googly-eyed stubby squid.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
With a little Cthulhu mouth. No, this is fine. I'm not going to question it any further. You have that animal magnetism about you. She's going to go about continuing to check on people.
Alright, give me a medicine from you and operation from Buyer.
Okay, maybe I am that kind of doctor.
So, while you're not that kind of doctor, you still know triage.
Yeah, I'm going to do some base triage.
Yeah. So, your study of xenobiology, there's enough familiarity between Miq'tions and humans that they've got bones, they can be set, they probably heal the same way that, you would. So you're able to help everyone, but more importantly, you have higher end drugs that help with pain and stuff at your disposal.
Painkillers fix everything.
Yeah. But yeah, you're able to make sure that they get their initial treatment done, and you can give them something for the pain. They don't know what it is, but they're like, "This is hella good." And in fact, Miyoshi is like, "What kind of stuff is this?"
Good medicinals. That's all. It will alleviate the pain, and you will feel much better.
I would like to know how to make this for my soldiers.
Of course. I'm never going to tell them.
Yeah, let's not create a future opium war. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're not the British Trinity.
No, we're the Trinity, not the British Empire.
Sorry, go on.
Just like I'm kind of looking at my roll rate here, and I just gonna say I would like to use all she got just to make sure we get there. That's
what's all she got do?
That's all she got do.
You know how to press the limit, the handling slash. I'm gonna try that sentence again.
Okay.
The handling slash thrust modifier of any vehicle you are driving is considered +1 higher.
Gotcha.
And a success on navigate tests take you 2 EUs rather than 1.
Alright, so you're able to get the rest of the people out of here in record time. I do need that D6, however.
Yep.
I think Fire is definitely ready to be done. Fire needs a nap.
Oh, 1.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Alright.
She did
So-
put that evil out in the world.
So you fly, you get these people out back in record time. Things seem to be going fantastically smooth. You're able to, you're able to fly this vessel, and it doesn't even sound as bad as it did before. You get to the outpost, are able to land, and as people are disembarking, we get a shot of this vessel coming in, setting down. People file out. You are able to give it all she got, and as you're preparing to do any shutdown procedures, there's just a loud, and then smoke starts to billow up from the damaged engine. And then there's that, and you get the sense that this vessel probably isn't flying again without some serious repairs. And it is also enough to startle a number of the people disembarking, many of the fighters of which start reaching for weapons.
Fires unhooking the belts, stands up. Everything's okay. It's perfectly fine. Walking
You,
towards CCU.
you come out of the vessel and there's just smoke coming out of it.
Pops at CCU.
Well,
Goes to the side. Pulls out any fusion cores or anything like that. This normal shutdown procedures. It's just completely normal shutdown procedures.
you let the magic blue smoke out, it stops working.
Yep, just to make sure everything that can't explode isn't near the thing that will cause it to explode.
Okay, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
You disassemble the fusion core so there's not like an actual meltdown, and this vessel won't just ignite. But as everybody starts to relax once more, for now that you are currently stranded where you're at, is there anything in particular any of you have goals for or aim to do?
Would
Dog.
Fire have the tools to try to upgrade the CCU?
We took all the valuable tools out of the station to make sure that people who shouldn't have them couldn't get them.
Yeah.
Anything on the shuttle that I could use?
What is your goal right now?
Well, last time Fire had downtime, she started the process of trying to upgrade the CCU, so
Oh, you just want to continue that process.
because it's personally, I don't think it's a thing that can be done in one go. So just sure that she is working on it.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a mechanics. And there is a shed nearby that you're able to work in that used to have a bunch of supplies but doesn't anymore. You can probably move some of it in there. Anything for you, dog?
He wants to get care and feeding instructions for Herbert.
Okay. Go ahead and give me
Into
a...
Octopus.
Yeah. It's weird that I knew that Herbert was the Pentapus immediately.
Just any viewers, look at what's it? Googly-eyed stubby squid, and tell me that creature is not named Herbert.
Yeah, so
Just-
you're...
That is
True. It's
Herbert.
true.
If somebody distilled the essence of the name Herbert into a being, that is Herbert. So yeah, Dog's going to ask, our resident xenobiologist.
That's me.
Yeah,
What are you asking me?
I seem to have acquired a pet.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that earlier. Do you need me to check it, make sure it's not venomous or something?
Probably.
I
Also,
can...
we're gonna have to figure out care and feeding instructions. It's been a while
Oh.
since I've had a pet.
One of the Mixians look up and it's like, are you gonna eat that?
No, it's cute.
Didn't plan on it.
I plan on keeping it.
All right, I'll run some tests on it.
He's
Okay.
Herbert Squishy.
Run it through the gambit and catalog it for. I'll also make a note that the Miq'toans want to eat it.
At least one of them does.
At least one of them does, which
name
probably
is
means the
Herbert.
others will too.
His name is Herbert Squishy.
You are my squishy, and you will be mine.
Dog has become irrationally attached to his little shoulder buddy.
It's your shoulder-mounted companion. It's fine.
Yes.
Alright, give me...
He's had a stressful month.
Giving you.
Would this be a...
That usually falls under medicine, these sort
Yeah.
of technologies.
Yeah, give me a medicine.
Science!
Would either Buyer or Rindis like to push?
Yeah, I feel like I will.
Yeah, but I was giving it a push.
Science again? There you go.
2 successes ain't bad.
Alright. Buyer, with 2 successes and no ones, you are able to continue the progress of doing these upgrades. Just as you suspected, there is going to take some time, but you're able to continue that process and get quite a bit done.
I forgot to add the edge. I'm just gonna roll a d6 to see if I get the 1 over it.
Okay,
No
no,
matter.
no one. What do you want to use your twist for?
What could I use it for? Because
You could try to
Buyers.
get a little bit more work done. You could try doing it in a way that it would be more efficient. It would take a little bit longer doing that, but you've got options. Whatever you can think of.
I'm gonna say in a way that it would be more efficient.
Okay.
Because when this thing is done, Buyer doesn't want it to break down.
Gotcha. Rendis, you have 3 twists. What would you like to use your twists for?
Remind me what those options are. I want it to look cool, I want it to be efficient, and I want it to be as insanely accurate as possible.
Can do. So you start to give this little creature a quick study. You are able to discern that while it is sentient, it is not sapient. It is smart enough that it can use little rudimentary communication with its little bioluminescent flashing tendrils. And it is more or less harmless. Hello. Guess I'll wait on that. Did anyone else hear that?
I heard like a hello and a squeak.
Oh, our doorbell rang.
Oh,
I don't see anyone out there.
a spell?
I don't know. Maybe someone was dropping something off. My ring got up and walked away as I was giving the description.
Okay, so that explains it. Like, I guess I wait.
So it's like, yeah, I was like, oh, okay, yeah. I guess. Meanwhile. I feel like there's going to be. I feel like the scene will cut somewhere else, and we'll see a number of the Miq'to scouts back at the village, kind of moving in. They turn, and the rain's still going, but as they approach their warlord, one of them says, "The village has been cleared out. supplies are still there, and some of their beasts as well. But they had taken their mails as well as everyone else. And the warlord kind of like gives a nod and says, "That's fine. We'll use the village as a base camp for the army. We'll start moving again once the rain clears. We'll be close enough that we can face the queen and her forces soon. Once that's done, we can look to fighting off these hostile invaders of our home once everyone is unified as one people." They give a nod and say, "Of course, warlord." And they start giving the command to occupy the village, and likely going to use it as a place to rest her forces after the march, now that they are significantly closer to the Miq'to capital. She does, however, find a empty building where she sits down and kind of looks over the broken blade again. Very thoughtful. She does test the edge of it to see if it's still usable, despite it being shattered. But there's a look of scrutiny on her face as she's trying to figure out how to deal with weapons of this kind. And then we'll cut back over to the rest of all of you. And for Rindis and Dog, Rindis, you look very, very cool doing your measurements, studying this creature, and you're very efficient moving about the lab, seemingly knowing what you're doing with all these strange things. A few of the Miq'tos that have posted up inside the lab itself, since the actual bunks are fairly overcrowded, kind of like watch you going about and studying this. You know your way around this lab, and as you do, you learn that this creature is could probably manage just fine omnivorous, but it's judging by its tendrils and the type of little mandibles or beak it has, it's probably used to eating smaller fish or carrion. So it probably subsists on a relatively high protein diet, but can eat smaller things but can probably subsist on grinding up some nutrients from some kind of riverbed plant life as well. It does have a tendency to cling to certain flora when necessary, and while aquatic, it does seem to be able to move on dry land fairly easily. but it definitely needs a source of water to keep itself hydrated if it's going to be moving in and out. Like I said before, it's also it's not sapient, but it is smart enough that it can give little signals with its light. It's also more or less harmless. It doesn't hunt anything big or is very dangerous, and probably has a number of other predators that go after it. But its behavior as you're studying it, seems very curious. It doesn't seem to shy away or to be afraid of you. In fact, it seems fairly sociable. As you're looking it over, you see some of its tendrils kind of like stretch out, move as if to mimic your hands.
Delightful. This thing is adorable, and I want it to be happy. I give it a little sardine.
It takes the sardine and it kind of curls it up in one of its tendrils and just disappears underneath it. And then the 5 tendrils kind of crawl out, and it kind of like pulls itself closer to you and then stretches out and starts to like mimic your hand again.
All right. I think I have everything I need. I bring it back to Dog with a unnecessarily detailed report.
It immediately climbs onto your shoulder and then blinks its eyes in that 1-2 fashion.
Maintain its hydration and proper
Warp. Like where the eye like cups in blinking, I'm guessing.
It does it does it a little bit, yeah. And it's just it'll blink one, and then the other one will blink shortly thereafter.
Kind of like mud skippers.
Yeah.
Like, okay, make sure to stay smooth. His name is Herbert Squishy, and he is my shoulder buddy.
It's got
I made it show. I was not expecting to just suddenly have the character get attached to a random thing that clung onto him as he walked out of the water, but lo and behold, here we go.
Yeah, I wasn't either, but
We have a pet.
yeah, we have a pet now.
So by the end of the campaign, it has one eye patch, and 4 of its tentacles is just holding rifles.
No, Herbert Squishy is not going into battle. Herbert Squishy will be kept nice and safe.
Know where those rifles come from.
And just as Dr. Arinda said, it is smart enough to be sociable when it does seem to mimic your fingers quite a lot. At least when you put your hand in its gesturing range.
Oh my goodness! Does it think our hands are other squishies? Because they're 5. We've got 5 fingers. It has 5 tentacles. We could use hands to communicate with the squishy. Oh my god!
You get a water bowl for it and just kind of like splorps in it.
Yep.
In hot tubs.
Just sitting there. It's the little. Well, we know how Dog's going to be handling stress for a while. He has a pet.
On that note, if it's all right with you, because I'm starting to ache a little bit, I'd like to wrap up here.
That
Sure.
seems like a good time. We have established the care and feeding of Herbert Squishy. That seems like a good note to leave off on.
Alrighty, well, thank
Yeah.
you, everybody. This has been a wonderful return to the game. Long time coming. We will do our best to also be here tomorrow for Brindlewood Bay, which has also been kind of put off for a little while, but we'll get it up and going again. So y'all have a wonderful night. Be well. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.
Take care of yourself.
Take care.